Hello guys, you're welcome to this tutorial. Today I want to teach you how to create a database in your MySQL MySQL server. Either you have installed WAMP or XAMPP, any of them. I want to teach you how to create a database using PHP script, okay, without going into your local host to create a table manually. All right, so I want to teach you how to create it programmatically. All right, so in this project, okay, I'm still using our existing project that we've been working on. Okay, so this is a form that we created. The index page is a form that we created from our previous video. Okay, so when I open it, you see we have it here, the table that we created. Yeah, the staff name, staff registration, and other things, they are all here. Okay, so in the same project, okay, if you're wondering where these files came from, in a couple of tutorials ago, we discussed, or I taught you how to download these files from the website, our website that you'll be using. Okay, that is when you go to the peregrinehive.peregrinegh.com. When you go here and you create accounts, or if you already have account, you just log in with your credentials. Okay, then you have access to array of content that you can work with. All right, so when you log into the account, then you come to HTML5 files. But when you click on it, you see this file here. Okay, so you download this one and you extract it in your project. Okay, so that is how come I have all these files here. All right, okay, so moving forward, I'll just create a new directory. I'll create a new directory here. So I'll right click on my project name and go to new and select directory. So I'll select directory, then directory name I'll set it to setup. Okay, that's setup or setups. Now click OK. All right, so I have it here. Okay, so in the setup, I'll right click on the setups and now create a new PHP file. So the PHP file name, I'll call it create underscore db. Create db. I create a database, so create db. Then the extension, I'll leave it to PHP. Then I'll press OK. All right, so I have it here. Okay, so what I'll do now is, you see, for every database comes with some parameters like the host, the user, the password, and other things. All right, so we have to define all of them here. So I'll first start with the host. So the host, start with my $db host equal to localhost. Then I'll terminate it. I'll bring my semicolon there. Okay, so let me teach you one thing. Let me explain this. The $db host here represent a variable. In PHP, when you see any word preceded with a $, means that word is a variable. Okay, and it's always at the left side of the operator. All right, okay, so I'll define the host, the DB host, as localhost. Then I'll define the user, DB user equal to root. That's the default username for these servers. Okay, localhost and the localhost, and put it at localhost. The default username is root. Then if your database, or if you have set a password to your server, that is your one exam, you define it as well. So db password. If you don't have any password on it, just leave it like that. And don't bring space in between. No. Don't bring, like, you don't have a password, so you are bringing space. Space is a character. Okay, it's a character. So when you do it like that, it's also treat it as a password. And if you try to connect, it might not be able to connect. All right. So you don't bring any space in between it. Then now let's test the connection. So we bring in here a variable called conn connect equal to MySQL connect underscore MySQL underscore connect. Okay, so we have the parameters defined in the IntelliSense here. Okay, so the connect, these are the parameters it's expecting: the host, the user, password, database, and the port and the like. You get it? So what we will do is we'll just bring our defined parameters up there in here. So we have the db host, comma. This is not semicolon and this is not dot. This is comma. Okay. Then we have the db user, comma. Then we have the db password. Okay, since we don't have the database yet, so we wouldn't add the database to it. We're not going to create a database. All right, so I'll terminate the line. Then I'll now come and write my query to create the database. All right, so I'll bring here, let's say query. It's a variable equal to MySQL query underscore query, or let me just bring the string. So let me just create a string. All right, so let me reverse. All right, so after terminating the line, I'll just bring my string here. Okay, the string that will allow me to create the database. Okay, so I'll bring here create database, then the database name. So database name, I'll name it abcd underscore db. Okay, abcd underscore db. Then I'll terminate it. Okay, so that is the command. That's the command. Then I'll now come and test it here and say if, let me bring a space. So if my SQLi query, SQLi underscore query, then the connection space, then the query. Okay, then it should do something for me. So what I've written here is, okay, this code means you should run this query. Okay, run this query, create table, create database abcd underscore db. You should run the query on this connection string, like on this connection. Okay, so just do it that way. All right, just do it that way, and it will pick it up. So if it is positive, all right, if the return value is positive, okay, it should echo the database successfully created. Successfully created. Terminate. else it should tell me, it should throw an error, right? It should throw an error. So echo error. Then it has to tell me the error type. So the error type, if I want to know the kind of error the query is throwing to me, I have to now define it by bringing a concatenation. So in concatenating concatenation in PHP2 is also done by the dot sign. Okay, the dot character, the dot character. So after the string here, I'll just bring my dot sign, then I'll bring my connection. So the error is on the connection, and I'll bring my minus sign, then greater than sign, then the error. So that's all. Then I want you to return false. Return false means after this one you shouldn't run any code below it. So return false. Okay. Sorry. Return false. Okay. So these are the few lines of code that we need to create our table with. Okay. So when you have this one, you just run it in your browser and voila, you are good to go. So let's test this code and see how it behaves, if it will successfully create our database for us. Okay. So I run it in my Chrome. Okay, so as usual, I'll clear my port. Then to load. Wow. So we have it here. Database successfully created. Alright. So we have successfully created our database without going through that hassle, like manually going to the server to creating other things. So that's all. So let's go to our server and see if it is there. So ABC, currently we don't have any ABCDB, so let me click on databases and see if it will come. Voila. So this is our database that we just created. Okay. Manually you could have come here, database, and now come and click on, write it here, and go to create and other things. But this is these are for the status. Okay. Now I'm advancing you gradually. Advancing gradually. So you use your codes, these few lines of code. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so let me say 11 lines of code to create a database in a simpler way, in this simple form. Okay, all right. So try this at home, and let's see how it also turn out for you. If you have any difficulties or challenges, just take your time, go through, or just drop your comments in the comment box. Then I'll respond to you and support you as well. Okay. All right. So my next video, I'm going to teach you how to also create a connection string. You have to create a connection string. After creating the database, you have to create you have to connect your file, your project, to the database that you've created. So, okay. So in the next video, I'm going to create another file, another PHP file, and set our connection string in it. All right. Okay. So thank you for joining me in this tutorial, and see you in my next video.